I felt very hopeless, and I didn't have any motivation at all whatsoever. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, I should probably say, because it has been a while since I've made a YouTube video, and that's kind of what I want to talk to you guys about today. Catch you guys up to a little bit of how I've been doing, my mental health, my life, all of those things. I hope that you guys have been doing good. I do apologize, I did have to take a break from YouTube. I definitely needed a mental health break. I appreciate all of those of you who reached out to me, who have sent me messages of encouragement and just made me feel, you know, really good, made me feel supported in a sense where during a time when I kind of really needed as much support as I could get, and especially getting it from strangers, like, I really appreciate that the most. So thank you guys for that. So if you guys know me, then you know that I started this channel talking about my experience coming from the ICOC cult, which is the International Churches of Christ cult, and I started making videos on that, and then that led into me helping other people who were in similar situations, and then that led into me coming out of my religious closet and opening up about my experiences and my feelings behind leaving Christianity. And then from there, I just kind of kept on going, but I slowly started to take a break. 2020 was kind of difficult because seeing so many people around me lose people that they love, because I didn't personally have anyone in 2020 that I personally lost that I'm very thankful for, but I did know a lot of people who did. Seeing that, adapting to life with everything shut down, wearing a mask everywhere I would have to go, fearing if anything would happen to me or my kids or someone close to me, and just like seeing how the world was completely changing, not knowing anything about what's happening with my job and my personal life, financially, all those things, like, it did take a toll on me. So I did kind of start falling back from making videos. I was making them less and less, mainly because I just didn't want to make videos, because I just didn't feel like talking, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really feel in that place to speak. And when you make YouTube videos, consistency is definitely key, but as us being human beings like everybody else, you know, we feel like things could overwhelm us in our life, and so that kind of really happened to me. I'm not making excuses, I'm just telling you guys what happened. I'm sorry, it's so loud. You know, I live in New York, it's so loud. Fast forward to 2021, I told myself I was gonna get it together. I was working on my Dope Souls master course that I was supposed to put out this summer, and I was really going hard. Like, it was a really big project for me, and I was really excited about it, and so I was like, I'm gonna do this thing. And then things started to go downhill beginning in February. My grandmother, she was sick, and then in March she passed away, and then in April my dog passed away, and then in May my mom got sick, and then in June she was diagnosed with cancer, and then July some things happened in my marriage that I'm not really gonna go into detail, but I'll share as much as I can with you guys towards the end of this video. And then now here we are in August, about to be in September, and I must say that August has been the best month I have had since the beginning of 2021. I have been feeling a lot more better, I've been feeling a lot more hopeful, I've been feeling a lot more motivated, and I've been just like really learning the toughest lessons I've ever had to learn. I'm turning 36 in October, and I kind of figure, you know what, it's just, this is kind of the stage in life where you begin to see what things really are, and you begin to kind of lose people, and you begin to see people that you've always loved who were healthy become sick with something, or you may fear that you're sick with something, you know, like, or you may start to feel like you want to change things in your life, you want to change your career, you want to change things in your relationship, or you want to change your relationship, or you want to change your thinking on things. Like, I really put my age into perspective when it comes to this, and that's just kind of how I see it. I feel like all the lessons that I've had to learn over these past months that I've taken a break from making videos, I needed those lessons, even though they were really hard and they were really painful lessons. I needed them because I needed to learn something. My daughter just came in. She was walking our dog, Juicy. Sorry guys, I got completely thrown off. So basically this month I've definitely been doing a whole lot better. I've been really like just trying to focus on healing and on just like focusing more on myself, on trying to change things that I know need to be changed. Basically the situation with my mom really has me thinking and seeing life in a totally different way. It kind of made me really appreciate certain things a little more. It made me feel more accepting of certain things. It made me feel more like I want to take more risks, and it also made me feel more I don't know, like confident, like, you know what, we really do just have this one life. And unless, like I always say, unless the Buddhists are correct and we reincarnate, but let's just say we only have this one life, you know, I really want to live it and I want to enjoy it. So yeah, so this month has been better because I was just like, I've gone through way too much pain over the course of like this small period of time where I was depressed, and I've gone through way too much of it that I just was like, I don't want to feel it anymore. Like, I just need to relax. I want to enjoy. I want to take my kids out. I was waking up to go to work feeling dead, so completely dead. I mean, I would get up, I would walk, my body would feel so heavy and like weak, and like I just felt like an empty soul walking to work. And it sounds so depressing, but I was really depressed. Like, I was really depressed. I cried every day for 2 weeks straight, the 2 weeks that I was off from work. And after that, I cried once at work and once at home. Or sometimes it started out as like, I'd wake up, cry to get it out my system, then I'd go to work, cry once in the afternoon in the bathroom, quickly get it out, then go home and then cry some more and get it out. And then it went down to me just crying once in the afternoon and once in the morning, and then it went from me just crying once in the afternoon and morning to me just crying in the morning, and then I just cry a little bit in the evening, and then I just like stopped crying altogether eventually. But that was pretty much how it went. And I just was like, my crying spells was so severe. It was like literally every 10 to 15 minutes for 2 weeks straight, I would just cry. And I didn't go out, I didn't do anything, I didn't enjoy the weather, I didn't take my kids out, I didn't do anything. Like, only sometimes on a weekend maybe we would go do something, but I had to push myself, and I felt so dead. And at one point I even kind of had a thought like, I should probably call somebody, like I should probably get help, or maybe go like to a hospital or something, because I wasn't thinking of hurting myself because of my kids, but I just felt like in my mind, it was almost like I wasn't here, and that scared me. So it was like I knew where I was, but at the same time I felt so out of it. Like, you could be calling my name and be standing right next to me, and I was just zoned out, staring, just zoned out. And then I just snapped out of it, and I just realized where I'm at. Like, I was just zoned out way too much. It was so hard to focus at work. It was so hard. Like, I would go to work and have to put on a smile, and my smile was not legit at all. Like, my smile was so inauthentic, and it was just because I had to really force it. But people at work could see it, and I had lost even more weight. And so, you know, people asked me like, what's going on, because there are some people in my job who had personally worked with me that I have kind of like a little relationship with outside of work, and so they know me, and they know how my personality is, and they know how I am, and they know how I look. And then they see me and they're just like, what's going on, like, are you okay? And So that was really hard, and it was just like really difficult. I've dealt with depression before. I have dealt with depression since I would say I was 12 years old. Was probably the first time I had my bouts of depression, was when I was 12. And ever since then, I've had depression off and on. I've had depression that lasted for 3 to 4 years straight. It was really, really bad, like chronic depression. So I know what it feels like. And I did deal with suicidal thoughts at that time. But with this, it was like different because I knew that I could get myself out of it, and I knew I had to push myself. And there were many times where I tried to make videos and I tried to put something up on YouTube, and then I would just be like, forget it, and just throw it away and delete it, and did all that work for nothing. And it was just because I felt like I wasn't ready, because I didn't really know what I wanted to say. I had so much going on. I didn't know what specifically I was going to talk about in the video. I just felt like if I started a video, it would sound all jumbled and everything would be all over the place. And then there were some things I felt like I wasn't ready to share, or I wasn't sure if I'd want to share at all. So I didn't make any videos. I had a couple of people message me and say, hey, just like reaching out for support, but letting you know, like, if you need to take a break, it's okay, we understand. Your health comes first, like, take a break. And that was when I realized, like, I do have a small following that I always appreciate, but I have a small following of some amazing, beautiful people who made me feel like, you know what, it's okay if I take a break, because if I take a break, then I can always come back, and those people will still be there. And those are the people that really mean the most to me on my channel, are people who come here because they can relate to what I speak about, and they can understand it, or, you know, like, they can appreciate a different perspective, like people who genuinely are here. That is something I always appreciate. So again, I thank those of you who really did reach out, and those of you who still stuck around. So that was pretty much what happened. That was pretty much how I was feeling. I knew I had to get out of it. I did have my best friend that I spoke with, that I was open with, and that really helped me, having somebody to talk to. I mean, it was to the point where I wouldn't journal, I wouldn't write, I wouldn't do poetry, I wouldn't make videos, I wouldn't work on my master course. I wasn't doing nothing. I was so unproductive. I hadn't sat at my desk for a little over a month. It wasn't until recently I started sitting here. I moved it back against the wall, because at one point I moved it and I didn't like it, so I moved it back against the wall, and this made me feel better, even just moving it. But I wouldn't sit here. Like, this is usually where I get into my zone, and I did not feel that. I felt very hopeless, and I didn't have any motivation at all whatsoever. And no appetite. I had no appetite. So that's the best gist that I can possibly have given you guys. This is probably video number 100 that I've tried to do this, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna keep this one, because that felt right. Okay, so this part of the video is kind of hard for me to open up about, because certain things I'm not gonna be specific on, but July was probably the most hardest month for me. Aside from my mom being sick, so you guys know I had things going on. My husband, I had made a video saying that I was gonna get separated from my husband, and this was about 2 years ago now. We had said we were gonna do this, or going on 2 years. And so during the time, for about a year and a half, me and my husband have lived together. We have never fully separated. The plan was that he was gonna move into his mom's, and we were gonna fully separate, and I was gonna stay here with my kids, because I can't afford to move out, you know. But he left temporarily, so he would come around on the weekends to be with the kids, and sometimes he would come on the weekends, sometimes he wouldn't. So it started to feel like we were separated. We really weren't. So we had decided during that time that we were not gonna hold each other down, because he needed to help me financially. We both work, but he makes a lot more money than I do. So and we have the kids, and so he agreed that he would help me with that. So that was what was helpful. But we literally lived like roommates. We were not physical with each other. We didn't spend time with each other. We barely talked to each other. We didn't argue because we didn't talk. We didn't spend time and watch TV together. We literally just were like here, and he'd go out, and that was it. So we had agreed that we wouldn't hold each other down, and that I said, look, if you want to see other people, go ahead, just keep that out of this house. I don't need to know about it. Keep it out. So he agreed with that. I agreed with it. At this point, I just kind of felt like, I don't know, I want to say lonely. I did have a period of loneliness, because it's amazing how you can feel lonely and you can live with the person and still feel lonely. So I guess in a sense I did a little bit, but not too much. It was more like I felt like I wanted someone to have conversation with, you know what I'm saying? Like I wanted someone that I could talk to. I wanted to feel something, and I missed that because I haven't had that in my marriage for a very long time, because our marriage has been very toxic, and it's been very back and forth for years. We've had issues, mainly with a lot of communication issues. So, and I'm being very transparent right now. This is the most transparent I could be about this right now, guys. Fast forward, so my mom gets sick. My husband, I already knew he was, you know, involved with somebody else, and I myself was actually involved with someone else as well. My mom getting sick, right before my mom got sick, I really wanted to file for divorce. Like I wanted to be like, you know what, I don't care if we're still living together, I just want to be officially divorced from you, because I want to be able to move on with my life. Because even though we weren't arguing, I had a lot of pent up frustration and anger towards him that I didn't allow to come out, because I was so tired of fighting. I was tired of going back and forth, but I felt a lot of anger and resentment, kind of like a why couldn't I get this from you after all these years type of thing, because we've been together for 17 years. So for me, it was like I refused to go there anymore. I didn't want to continue to go there, so I decided, whatever, go do what you want, I don't care, go do what you want. And it may not have been healthy, but I was at that place mentally and emotionally where I just was tired of it, and I just didn't care. So with my mom getting sick, that whole situation kind of reversed things for me. I don't know what happened, but I started to experience this feelings of like, this isn't right. Like I need to do some, like I need to make something right, because things aren't making sense, and I'm gassing myself right now, like this isn't right. So I kept getting that feeling, I kept on getting that feeling, and then I just started to feel like, I spoke to my best friend and I was like, I feel real crazy right now, I feel stupid because I don't want to feel vulnerable right now, but I'm not sure that I'm ready to end my relationship. I'm not sure I'm ready to get a divorce, because if I were, wouldn't I have done it already? Like even if he's lived with me, I still could have got divorced. That doesn't stop you realistically. Wouldn't I have done it? Am I trying to open up another door and not close the one that I already have here? Because I can't go from this and jump into something else. And that doesn't feel right. And as much as I felt like I wanted to do that, I knew that it wasn't gonna work, because then I'm taking everything with me from this relationship into the next, and that relationship's gonna go to crap. I had decided, I was like, you know what, I think that we need to talk about this. I think that we need to see if this is really what we want to do, because a month prior to that, he did ask me to stay with him and to go to counseling, and I said no, because I thought I was over it, and I was just like, first of all, it's been over a year and you're now like all of a sudden telling me this, and second of all, like all the stuff we done been through, I don't want to have to go to counseling and do all that and put in all the effort, and then you're not doing the same, because it doesn't make sense that I have to own up to my issues but you don't take accountability or see what your issues are. And that's where my thinking was at the moment. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that, because I wanted to do that before and you didn't want to. And I feel like this is a setup. Like, I'm gonna end up putting in all the work and then nothing's gonna happen, and then it's gonna be like, what was the point? So I said no. But after that, I just started thinking about life really differently. Like, I was thinking about life like, you know what, you really don't, we're not promised tomorrow. Like, we have people in our life that we love. We have no idea how long we're gonna have these people in our life. We have no idea. They may be so healthy right now, and then tomorrow, we don't know, you know? That was really where my thinking was. And I don't know, I just started to really appreciate things so different. I started to feel a little more different. I took time to myself. I wasn't speaking to anyone. I wasn't speaking to anyone. I wasn't speaking to friends. I wasn't speaking to this other person. I wasn't speaking to my husband. I wasn't even speaking to my family. Like, I was keeping a lot to myself. And I was just kind of processing all of my feelings. I was like asking myself, what am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this? But basically, I just had to process through the emotions. And then finally I decided I was going to talk to him. And I did, and I expressed myself, and I did not expect for it to go the way that it did. Basically, without giving so much away, it kind of led into other things. During the time that we were living as roommates, we didn't know much about each other, and I was learning things about him, and I didn't know there were certain things, and there were certain things he was struggling with. And so that was my month of July, and that was really hard, because then I had to make a decision of, do I still want to see if we could fight for this? Because a month ago you wanted to fight for this, so I know you must still want to fight for this. If we were to do the one thing we never did, which is go to counseling, if we were to finally start doing that, then maybe we could see for sure. If it doesn't work, then that's it. It doesn't work. You go your way, I go my way. But I'm not gonna close this door and open another one and then have any regrets later. I don't want to do that to anyone, especially people I really care about. It was crazy. Like, I just started learning things and learning things and learning things, and the things I was learning was really hard and it really hurt. But like, I had the help of my best friend, and that was like a lifesaver for me. My depression took a really steep drop at that moment, because then now I wasn't just going through the pain of like seeing what my mom was going through with her diagnosis, but now I was also going through seeing what my husband, you know, was dealing with in his life, and uncovering things that ended up hurting me and ended up triggering past traumas. It was just a lot. It was a lot, and it still is a lot. Like, it's something I'm still dealing with, it's something I'm still working through, but I'm getting there because I have to. Like, I have no choice. As of right now, we're doing fine, because one thing we've always had is a friendship. Like, when we chill, we could really chill. When there's no arguments, we're really good. Like, we can chill, we can hang out and all of that stuff. But you know, like, we're starting to get counseling now, and we already agreed that if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If, you know, we do the counseling and we try this and we're still like not seeing eye to eye, or we're still bumping, or if I even feel like, you know what, I feel like I'm putting in my part but he's not putting in his, like, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like, we already agreed to that. Because for me personally, I don't care what anyone thinks. Like, unless you've been married, you wouldn't understand. But it's like this: I don't want to leave something and then not be fully done with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to, if I find that this still doesn't work, for me to leave, of course, it's never easy to let something go that you've had for such a long time, especially when you care about the person. But I would then at least not feel any kind of like thoughts of doubt, like, damn, what if I'm doing the wrong thing? You know, what if I could have tried harder? What if I could have done more? Like, what if me going to counseling and us trying to do this counseling could have been better? Because I already know what our biggest issue is, and it's the communication. Like, our communication style is very different, and our language is very different based upon the type of upbringing we each had, which was both very different. So this is just something I'm actually recently really learning more about. All I know is I'm just trying to work on me, whether I'm with him or I'm with somebody else. You know, I feel like I want to be able to communicate properly with the person I'm with. I want to know how to really speak to the person and how to listen to the person, and I want to know how to set those boundaries and how to keep those boundaries. Boundaries are really important no matter what. Like, boundaries are super important. Honestly, like, some people will ask, because I have had people ask me about my relationship, like, I will just say I don't know what's gonna happen. Honestly, I don't know. I at this point feel like whatever is supposed to happen, let it happen. If I'm supposed to stay in this relationship, let this work. If I'm not, then make it so uncomfortable for me and just make it make 1,000,000% sense that I need to leave, because at least now I know I've really put in 1,000,000%. Like, I've really been putting in my share, my effort. It's been really difficult. Like, we got married at a young age, and we had a toxic relationship before we got married, and then after we got married, it was still kind of toxic, and we was in the church, which made it more toxic. Like, in my marriage, I always felt like I had to be better, like I was never enough, and me dealing with feelings of not being enough, that's something that I have that stems from, like, when I was really young, and that's something that I do want to get counseling for. That's, for me, a trauma that I need to work on, because I get triggered through that, and through certain situations that's gone on in my marriage, it's definitely triggered me on that whole I'm not enough, or I'm never going to be enough, I'm never going to live up to that expectation. And I felt like that since I was little. I felt like that when I was a kid. I felt like that when I was a teenager. I felt like that as an adult. I think that's pretty much it. I don't know, let me give you guys some good news. I'm quitting my job. I put in my resignation for September 17. So I'll just make a whole separate video about that. But that is something I'm looking forward to, because I do feel like I need a break from a lot of things, and I want to refocus back on, like, getting back into YouTube and getting back into my course and getting back into all the other stuff that I never completed, like my book. Like, there's just a whole bunch of stuff that I really want to get back into, and I want to, like, refocus. And I feel like 2020 was a great reflection for all of us to see, like, what we really love and what makes us feel passionate that we can do it. Do you love what you're doing? And that's pretty much where I am. Anyway, leave a comment down below if you've experienced anything similar, depression, anything like that. How's it been for you? How did you come out of it? Also, if you want to get in contact with me, that's down below in the description box as well. You can see about booking with me. You can get your first 30-minute free consultation where we speak over the phone, and then after that, if you want to book a session, you can. So that information is also down below, so make sure you go check that out. If you like my video and you're enjoying this channel, then make sure you do subscribe.